back with a second day of the upload. I'm trying my best to make daily uploads from now, like maybe like 20-25 minute uploads from now. And just letting you know, like I said in my description yesterday, today we'll be having, not today, but the next video, Raymug, my friend Raymug, will be doing part 2 of this what if. Just letting you know, this what if might have some out of character traits. So like if you see All Might being kind of mean or something like that, then just know that he's not really like this in the canon counterpart for someone who hasn't really watched My Hero. So if you haven't watched My Hero and decide to watch My Hero, these characters are just malleable in the what if. So just be aware of that and enjoy. We'll start off when Deku would be growing up in general, and he would live a similar life to his canon counterpart right up until he gets the One for All by All Might. I know, right? Kind of like a speed run here. So what happened is that All Might would give him One for All, but in this timeline, what would happen is he would train for like the 9 months, but this time he would have like way more successful rates of getting it. He would get all the quirks of One for All. He would get 100% mastery, and All Might would be kind of surprised at this, but he would shrug it off. But a spy would be watching them from afar, a spy of All for Ones. He wanted to find out who is the next successor of One for All, and he would see that Deku is the next successor. He needed to find a way to get him out of the way and him to be the leader of this world in general. World conquer, just basically that in a short sentence. What would happen is All for One would give a quirk to like a stealth person, kind of like Lady Nagant's, my bad, and where she would have her like really, she would get the airwalk from Shigaraki or All for One. So another person, like someone who's like really good at impressioning people, kind of like Toga, would get this quirk to like change their features, but still be able to be a good fighter in general. What would happen is this person would try to assassinate a government official. What would happen is people would think this is Deku, and everyone will be like really surprised at his power because like in that fight, like the assassination attempt, he was shown to have like a lot of power. And what would happen is, since he's a child, he wouldn't be executed or something like that. He would be sealed in a chair with One for All ripped away from him for the next round 10 to 20 years. And what would happen here is Deku would basically be sealed, like in the lowest level of the prison system, basically, like the worst level. I mean, kind of like Mugen in Bleach. And in this time, he would just be sitting there and basically not watching, but knowing the Hero Society is burning down. And like once the Hero Society is basically almost destroyed, he'd be like sitting there and pretty much feeling helpless when a man with like a kind of like a Mugen style outfit would walk up to him, and we all know this is Aizen, and you guys are wondering, well, why is Aizen here? You know, the reason why Aizen is here is simply because when he was sentenced in the Soul Society, it has been 20,000 years. He was released, and now when he went out, people had quirks, and he was really fascinated by this level of evolving of humans in general. Though the Soul Society was still like in a whole nother plane of reality, they didn't really give two shits about human world in general, the human world. So like you won't be seeing soul reapers anytime soon. It'll just be like Deku. This is just a reason for Deku to get Aizen powers. Aizen would Aizen basically would give Deku his powers in the Hokyoku. So he would have Kyoka Suigetsu. He would have the Hokyoku, and he would just have the drip and the mentality of Aizen, the Ubermensch, which is actually a philosopher's ideology of the Overman. Nietzsche's actually, but if you guys are really big brain, you would know him. But I don't know if you guys know him or not. If you do, put it down in the comments. My bad. So Aizen would give him his powers, and soon he would die due to him living that long and him not having the support to keep him immortal. He would die. Naruto would be sent back in time with the Hokyoku because he wanted to fix everything, and with his desire, the heart desires, since the Hokyoku really takes your desires and like makes it reality. He would be sent back in time, but not as an adult as he is right now, like 35 or 20, 25 to 35. He would be an adult, really. He would be sent back as a child or like an infant, but like he would lose all his memories, so he wouldn't get them back until maybe he was like 10 or 11. So yeah, what happened next is Deku would live his life similarly until he was like around 11 years old when he would finally get his memories back. Oh, he's here time traveling. He has Aizen's powers, or this Aizen San's powers. San is just a formality that I think people in Asia, or maybe it's just Japan. If you know that too, put in the comments. Because I'm not really knowledgeable in that sense of language, I guess. I just hear what Brooke says from One Piece. Nah, just kidding. So Deku would get his memories back, and he would still act like the oblivious boy. But what happened is he would meet people like Toya and Todoroki, Toya and Shoto, I mean, and Tenko, and give them their quirk evolution. With Tenko. If you guys don't know the manga panels, Tenko is Shigaraki. Tenko Shimura is Tomura Shigaraki. Just gotta let you know on that one. My bad if you guys didn't read the manga panel, but it's been revealed for quite a while, so might as well do it now before it's later. Um, he would give them the quirk evolutions with basically Shigaraki having his normal quirk evolutions of sending decay into like waves, similar to how he was in the manga, the all for one form of Shigaraki. Toya would be able to use his flames without any drawbacks, and he would be able to like really reach the temperature, like kind of like Natsu's flames or Amaterasu type temperature, with Shoto being able to use his half and half quirk at the same time and kind of like more powerful. Like the ice would be as strong as Gray's ice from uh, Fairy Tail, and the fire is basically as hot as Amaterasu or Natsu's flames or the Dragon King's flames or Akinologia. I don't know if he has flames. I may be tripping. I haven't even watched Fairy Tail, so yeah. After this, after basically Aizen collecting his quote unquote Espada, he like his army, he would basically just act like the helpless little the quirkless helpless little child. That was probably a lot of adjectives, but I hope you guys know what I mean. After this, not Aizen, or Deku, I mean, or Midoriya, would go through a time skip right until he was 15. So what would happen is Deku would still see Bakugo, would still save Bakugo, seeing as he had potential, and he basically set it up where Bakugo would get one for all, and this would happen in this timeline, and the all for one villain would basically not be there in this timeline, since I have to manipulate it. We can't have the same thing happening again. And Deku would still be curious on who framed him, since he knows he did not try to assassinate a government official. He couldn't even do that, even if he wanted to. It's like there'd be too many people in his way. It would cause too much attention, and he would make too many enemies. So in this time skip, Deku would try to find out the truth on why he was framed in the first place. I really wish I could actually go through like a whole series of events of him like finding like clues leading to all for one, but the fact is my hero is not finished, and there's just too little detail, and there isn't much time given on the flashback, so I can't really like say, oh, he went over here, then he found this, oh, and then the building was set on a blow up, so like when he tried to find evidence, it would blow up. I couldn't do that. I wish I could. It would be a banger what if, but if you guys want me to do that, you should definitely put it in the comments. Maybe me or Ray could, or me or Ray Mug could do it. So after this, my bad, Midoriya would go to the entrance exams after the 10 months of training his followers and himself, since he likes training the new generation. He would meet many people who had the similar powers like Eri and Koda, though he didn't really kill All for One yet, since he wants to wait. He kind of wants to watch him suffer, pretty much. and he would recruit Lady Nagant onto his team of Espada, or quote unquote Espada, as just his followers in general, giving them their quirk evolutions or whatever extra powers they needed, similar to the current manga power levels. And you don't want to give them too much power so they can overthrow him. You know, there has to be like a moderation to it. Naruto, my bad, Midoriya would head to the entrance exams with pretending to be like a nervous little child he is. Like, since, you know, something big's about to happen, just letting you know, guys. Naruto, my bad, Midoriya would then head in and basically ace the written exams, with Ida asking his stupid question again, and basically tries to put down Midoriya, but unconsciously, since that is just his attitude as Tenya. But Aizen slash Deku would basically just quickly, nonchalantly act his nervous way and say, I'm sorry. But deep down, this is the first one he's gonna cut down, basically. After this, President Mike would explain the practical part of the exams, the taken down robots, with Deku basically heading down, and he would be holding back his powers to around 20%, similar to how the Shinigamis hold back their power in the world of the living. Kind of like, okay, nah, I was about to bring Dragon Ball reference. Never mind. But then the gates would, like, Deku would be waiting for a start, but like, or the gates to open, or at least seeing a start. But President Mike would say that no, there's no starts in a real battle, which he's actually true about that. But he would basically open the gates and say, go, 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 no starts in a real battle. Deku would quickly just zoom past them, like fast, like flash step, but like just like kind of run really fast. And he would basically start punching robots with Ryatsu Enhanced Fist. And you would just basically rack up a lot of points with his other followers doing what they would do with Cannonverse. With Deku letting basically Bakugo get first place, since he doesn't want to be in the light of attention. He doesn't want to be like, he wants to misdirect people. So, if he's in the shadows, people won't notice him more than if he's like #1 student at UA. So he wants to like limit his powers until his uprising, quote unquote. After this, the 0 pointer would come along just like in canon, and Uraka would still be stuck. But Aizen would just, not Aizen, but Aizen slash Deku, my bad, Deku aka Aizen, since he's basically now Aizen with Aizen's powers and the Hokyoku. Aizen would quickly just raise his sword and power some Ryatsu into it, and basically slice the robot into tiny little pieces, and then he would sheath his blade again, kind of like a classic anime style cut with the samurai or any person with a sword would do. Any skilled person with a sword would do. He would quickly help Uraka up, and they would basically, Deku would head back to doing the rest of his exams, getting like a medium or not medium, but like a average run of points, so he can at least pass. But since he had calculated that there was rescue points, so he'd probably get he would get around 10 villain points on purpose, and get 60 rescue points, so he can purposely be behind Bakugo and Todoroki. After the my bad. After the entrance exams would finish, Deku would then walk out, basically like heading home. And if you guys are wondering, the USJ will not be happening. So we're just gonna do a time skip to the first day when Aizawa would come in, basically telling them about the quirk assessment test, the quirk apprehension test. Heard that from Zethers What If, so I was like, that came in clutch. And Aizawa would go down, and Deku would just try his best to be medium. Like, he would, since when he heard Aizawa say that the last place will be expelled, he knew he was capping, because no one can manipulate Aizen or Deku in general, or no one could like lie to him, pretty much. After the test has finished, Deku basically just got an around average score, with the throw being around 700 and Bakugo getting a little more than usual, due to him seeing how many strong people are there. So he would have got maybe around 750, and he would be pretty happy. But once he see that Todoroki, Momo, Yayarozu, I think I said that right, were first place or second place, they were above him basically, he would be pretty pissed, but he would basically hold it in since he didn't really want to see, since Deku didn't get really higher than him, since he purposely wanted to be below Bakugo to give him that like slight notion of victory. But it's gonna be squashed too. We're going to time skip to the heroes versus villains arc, where the alarm not going off since Shigaraki would not try to basically get information since Shigaraki is on Aizen's side, Deku's side, I mean. So we're going to the heroes versus villains arc, or like basically 2v2, with Uraraka and Deku being on the same team. After this would happen, Deku would basically just have a similar fight canon with him holding back his strength and only using his fist. He only really used his blade in the entrance exam because he felt not forced, but he wanted to give people a surprise, a slight one, compared to the surprise that's gonna happen soon. After this, Deku would basically just fold Bakugo and Ida like a paste, like a piece of paper. Oh my god, my vocabulary today, my pronouncing basically just in general. He would basically fold them up like a piece of paper, and Uraraka would still touch the bomb since she does have a gravity type ability. Yeah, I think it's called zero gravity. I may be wrong though. After this, Deku would basically head home, and Bakugo would just train with All Might with One for All, but soon he'll be feeling the quote-unquote effects that comes with having a quirky and having One for All in general. And that will be the downfall of Bakugo himself. And that's why Aizen really didn't do much when he was, that's why Aizen didn't like kill, not Aizen. That's why Midoriya didn't try to have like a preventative or a caution against Bakugo, because he's gonna die anyway. He's gonna let him die. After this, Deku would head home getting some information on the way about some like heroes, anything he needs, because he's building up his empire. He's gonna take over the world in general. After this, we're going to time skip to the sports festival, and we're gonna time skip to the sports festival all the way to the race, the start of the race, when Todoroki would try to freeze everyone, with Deku elegantly flash stepping to the mines, with him basically just raising his blade and kind of using a pseudo type Getsuga Tensho, slicing the mines and blowing them up, causing a bigger explosion where the audience could not see what Aizen's about to do. Aizen would quickly just use open at Garganta and jump through, and he would jump again, like out of the Garganta at the finish line, basically finishing. After this, they would come through a 1 hour break when basically Aizen's plan or Deku's plan would start to unfold, with him starting to betray everyone. My bad. Aizen would start to like raise his Ryatsu to the max to gain everyone's attention, and basically his whole team will be summoned within a cloud of smoke, with the rest of the team that's not there basically silently taking everyone out. He needs to cause some fear, making it look like this was an invasion. After this, a purple type portal would open and the villains would come out. All Might would basically try to fight them, but Deku would purposely stab him in his injury. He didn't want to kill All Might since he needs people to fear the circumstance of All Might dying and make them shatter their illusions of All Might being number one. The betrayal would take place, and Aizen and the rest of his team would head back to their headquarters, basically be the LOV, but it'd be much more evolved. It wouldn't look like Las Noches, but it would just like have a really big underground base of operations. So yeah, and Sorry about this, guys, but this is gonna be the end of part one. If you guys actually want part two, you guys use legends, as Rogue would say, would have to go ask Mug in his recent video for the part two of what if Midoriya had Aizen's powers. But other than that, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace out.